Hello, my dear friends. Welcome to the show. My name is Jack Chow, East-West Show with the G&E TV. Once again, we're talking about election. At election shows, I always make points clear. Point number one, we want to make the right pick. Point number two, we want to make sure this person does the job right. So in other words, it is a moment of picking up the right person for the right job. Right? Sounds easy, but it's a hard job. How am I supposed to pick up the right guy for the right job? I don't know. So we're taking speculation or sometimes you have to, right? Yet we do have a handle to hold on to look into the background of the person, right? Has he robbed a bank before, right? Has he somehow goes on and on. The checking list goes on and on. What has he done or she done as it goes on and on. And then you're talking about what can he or can she do. That's the moment of making selections. And then we provide you all the choices about what you want to do with each party from each angle so that you will know that you see a clearer picture. It is up to you to make the right choice. Okay, now, today joining me is my good friend, Mr. Pete Peterson. He is running for, huge job, don't get me scared. Secretary of California State Secretary, all right. So, Pete, welcome to the show.
Very good to be here, Jack. Thank you.
Good. Like you heard me loud in the lead lines, that it is the moment to make decisions, to pick up the right guy for the right job, right?
Right,
That's
exactly.
the whole thing.
Yeah, that's all the election is about, right?
All it is about, right?
Yeah.
So how are we supposed to know that we are making the right pick? So first question has to go your background, please.
Sure.
Can we?
Yeah, so I've been in the private sector for about 12 years, and then my wife and I made the decision about 10 years ago that I would go back and get my master's degree in government. We did that at Pepperdine University. And I came out with my master's degree, and with that, I actually made a career choice to move into a field called civic engagement.
I see.
And so for the last 10 years, I've headed up a nonprofit and then an institute, which is based at Pepperdine, that consults with government to make it more transparent and responsive to the public. So the work I do is really about making government more transparent and responsive to their citizens.
All right. Can we be more specific about being a consultant for the government?
Sure.
So because, that's probably exactly what we're missing.
Right. Yeah, no, it's been a
we're holding the crying baby now. So let's talk about the baby. Can we please?
Yes, absolutely. It's been a growing field in government and public policy for the better part of a decade because two things have happened. One is that budgets have become tighter and tighter. And so governments are understanding they need to do a better job of engaging their residents and making decisions.
I see.
But at the same time, technology has grown. And so everything from the internet to handheld devices, we can know much more about how our government operates. And government is trying to do a better job of engaging its citizens. So specifically what I do is either one of two things. Either I train government officials to do a better job of public engagement.
I like the word training, yes.
Or consult with them. So I have worked all over the state from San Diego up to Northern California to make government more, again, engaging of its residents. And I take this platform really to the state level in this run for Secretary of State.
I see.
Because the Secretary of State is the chief elections officer.
Oh yeah, of course.
Right.
And also is more on the executive job rather than legislature.
Right.
You don't make rules, you don't make no laws, something like that. You don't do that. You want to make sure laws are followed.
Exactly right. Yes.
Laws are followed in the right way.
Right.
In a transparent way.
Yeah.
In an efficient way, right?
Yes.
Something like that.
Yeah.
And also in an effective way.
Right.
Might be efficient, not effective though.
Right.
Right?
And so I think in the two main areas that the Secretary of State has responsibility for, one is the election side, making sure that our elections are run with transparency and legitimacy.
I see.
The other is the business engagement side. And a lot of business owners know that when they start up here in California, they have to meet with and engage with the Secretary of State's office to register their business. And there are a lot of different paperwork procedures and processes in which are run through the Secretary of State's office.
Exactly. All right. Well, I start to feel about it already. Just we started, less than 10 minutes. I feel I'm in it already. It so happened that you have a background of doing politics.
Right.
Or doing, if I made a quote from you, the training of government officials.
Right.
Or the consultation of government officials about how they need to handle their job.
Exactly.
I wouldn't be touching about the details if you say in the beginning statement, I'm doing oil painting.
Right.
I'm doing automobile industry.
Right.
And I wouldn't go into that because I know nothing about it.
Right.
That has nothing to do with it being a Secretary of State.
Right.
So for a qualified person to get on the job, though, we're looking around for years.
Yeah.
For somebody who understands the government as a business.
Right. And really what's so important about this, Jack, is the person that usually runs for this office is a termed out legislator who may or may not have any background in the particular office of Secretary of State. And I think I bring a very unique background and a resume specifically to be a Secretary of State that is not only thinking about our small business owners, but also our voters as well.
Speaking of small business owners, they are the ones being the backbone of the economy.
Absolutely.
Everybody says that.
Yes.
In a very friendly way.
Yes.
Yet our legislation, our law systems are not that friendly.
Right.
Don't you think so?
I completely agree. And the Secretary of State actually is uniquely positioned to make it both easier and cheaper to start a business. You know, in California, you actually cannot currently register your business online. It's a total paperwork process. At the same time, California charges an $800 a year business franchise tax, which is far more than what any other state charges. And I have pledged to fight to reduce that $800 a year tax down to $100.
Oh, wow.
Again, to make it easier and cheaper to start a business. Yes, and I think we can do it, Jack. I think we can.
And to, like I just said, I feel I'm in it already. Probably you get 30% of my vote already, because I'm really on this job looking around for the right person for quite some time, right?
Yeah.
Somebody even failed. Got himself out of the race, and even including those people. It is not that I do not have my own pick. It is just about that I'm very thirsty.
Yeah.
I'm very thirsty about getting the right person for the job. I understand totally about the nature of that job position, how important that is, and people do not pay attention to.
Right.
Back to the small business issue, though, I still want to stretch a little bit.
Yes.
Because California are run, everybody says, oh, yeah, God, let's be honest, by small business owners, right, who are being the backbone of the economy.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Let's penalize them.
Right.
Let's hit them.
Right.
And they do exactly the contrary. That's my problem.
Yes.
Right. Number one, the time needed when you decide to establish a business.
Right.
To be honest, between mom and pop, do you know how long does that take them to make a decision, to be psychologically ready, financially ready for filling out the paperwork to submit?
Right.
And then after submission, they kind of
wait.
Right. The word starts with a W. Wait. Right. I've got a friend years ago who put up a film company, producer company, thing like that. And she waited until about quite some months later, and she approached me, say, Jack, you're in the media, you see lots of people, can you help?
Yeah.
I said, well, I know people, I don't know politics.
Right.
Well, so finally I got someone who are in the legislature to intervene, to call, say, hey, where's that file?
Right.
They couldn't find the file.
Right. And Jack, that is...
You know the word, what is the word? The word is that can you refile it?
Yeah.
Can you refile it?
Yeah.
By then, you're talking about 6 months down the drain.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So we need somebody, please,
Yes.
to be efficient
Yes.
on the job.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And also, speaking of the small business owners
Yeah.
being hit by a lawsuit, you know an organization called CALA?
I've heard of that.
Yeah, CALA,
Yeah.
California Against the Law
Lawsuit
Abuse.
abuse. Yes.
Lawsuit abuse.
Yes, yes.
And they gave me any information about California. Each year we handle 1.5 million cases.
Yeah.
Among the 1.5 million, a majority, great majority of them are being those nonsense cases.
Right, against small businesses.
Against small business.
Yeah, yeah.
So once you're there, suppose you took office,
Yeah.
the first favor I'm going to ask you to do, be friendly to
Yes.
these small business owners, be friendly to applicants, be, well, right one to do the job. And if you have colleagues to train,
Yeah.
train the colleagues.
Yes.
Right? So I'm honestly very interested in the word you used, training.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So can you be more specific about
Yeah.
training?
Yeah.
I mean, when we come back after a little break, well, I want to go into depth about
Yeah,
word
be
training.
happy to.
Right. So can we please?
Absolutely.
Right, good. To my audience, today is one of the very few chances that I get my hand onto some situation, because I have invited my good friend, Mr. Pete Peterson, the candidate for California State Secretary, on the show to talk about his concept, how prepared he is, his concept, including his methods to save California. I call poor California. Well, anyway, so let's be back.